With the arrival of a certain highly acclaimed strategy title on the App Store yesterday, we won't spoil it, but it's got an X and a com in the title. It's been a pretty big week for iOS gaming. Let's get stuck in, shall we? The latest episode in Gameloft's premier first-person shooter franchise, Modern Combat, has just received its biggest update yet. First off, you can now explore the Fracture, Extraction, and Backfire maps. These will see you fighting for your life on the streets of Barcelona and blasting your way across the ice of Antarctica. As for fresh firepower, you'll gain access to a Special Forces sniper rifle. Oh, and a grenade launcher pistol. The multiplayer options have been expanded too, with the new Bomb Squad and Destruction modes adding some explosive variety to social scuffles. All of these tweaks can be unlocked right now via a simple update from the App Store. Chilingo's most recent addition to the App Store is Gloomy Hollow. As you can see, it's an isometric action RPG in the vein of Diablo. Instead of the classic fantasy setting, however, this ghoulish offering drops you in a kind of undead western. Playing as either a sheriff, a blacksmith, or a lady with a sharp fan, it's your job to save the town of Gloomy Hollow by trekking around the underworld, slicing up the local wildlife, and searching for healing soul crystals. We like the gothic soundtrack and sinister premise, but you'll have to wait for our review to see if the gameplay holds up. Of course, the big release this week is XCOM Enemy Unknown. If you haven't stumbled across the console version, XCOM is a turn-based strategy game which places you in command of a military response unit. Your job is to monitor, manage, and repel UFO incursions. Here's what you need to know. Firstly, it's available on both iPad and iPhone. Secondly, it's great. Thirdly, as it's a port of a recent console release, it's going to take up a fair chunk of your virtual storage. 3 gig, in fact. This means you might have to make some tough decisions regarding your games library. Which brings us to the price. It's £13.99 or $19.99. Now, while some may label that figure a little steep, it's worth noting that it's a good deal less than the $60 you'd pay at launch, or the $40 Amazon is currently asking for the Xbox 360 version. If you ask us, it's a small price to pay for having one of the best console games of this generation in your pocket at all times. For an in-depth assessment of this prestigious port, make sure you check out our XCOM Enemy Unknown video review. And finally today, with Angry Birds steward Rovio now taking smaller devs under its expansive wings, we're going to see some new iOS games with some seriously flashy trailers. The first game to get the Rovio Stars big budget video treatment is Icebreaker, a Viking Voyage. It's a 2D physics puzzler that bears a passing resemblance to Rovio's own bird-flinging franchise. However, instead of catapulting fowl towards pigs, you must swipe blocks of ice to free your Viking buddies from their frosty tombs. You won't just be liberating Nordic warriors, though. There are chests of treasure to grab, quests to complete, and bosses to fight along the way. If you like what you see, you can download the game for iPhone and iPad right now. Alternatively, you can wait until next week for the official App Spy verdict.
Icebreaker, a Viking Voyage.
For even more information about this week's iOS releases, head over to appspy.com. To get all our video content directed straight to your channel, make sure you click the subscribe button too. You can also find us on Facebook and Twitter. I'm off to have another close encounter, but until next week, keep your eyes on the skies and your fingers on your screens. This has been James with appspy.com. We review, you decide.